Welcome to the Be My Own Boss podcast. This is episode 42. I'm your host, Mike Harubi, and I'm looking forward to talking with you today about some of the exciting things that are ahead for all of us. Last episode, number 41, talked about trade and investment, the boom that is coming that is going to have to rely on independent contractors, all 76 million of us, rely on us to help everybody else get through the peaks of what's going to be demanded. There's something 3 to 5 trillion worth of new investment coming in. The names are huge. NVIDIA is going to build its chips here, AI chips. And all of that is going to immediately trickle out to every possible sector of the economy and to every occupation. So no matter what you do now, you'll be doing more of it. Moving, teaching, learning, training, picking up, building, taking apart, reassembling, cleaning up, remodeling, shipping, everything is going to be more so. You are going to be in demand. I know you've been fighting, you're trying to get your revenue up for a long time. It's going to get easier. We're going to talk about one of the tricks that befalls every new business person, every effort at sales. A client that or prospective client, will kind of squint at you in some meeting, a Zoom, in person, and will say, "Is it just you?" Expecting he was talking to Amazon or Google, of course. We're going to slow that tape down, and we're going to take a look at what just happened when he asked that question. It will happen to you. It happens to everyone. It sounds like a put down. It sounds like you're naked. He's expecting 400 people in a nice square, and it's you. So it happens. As I said, instantly you know that this prospect does not know you or your background. He sees a potential mismatch with the project or the problem that he has in mind, and he's skeptical. So you are on your best behavior at this moment. You want to answer him factually correctly. You want to think it through at top speed and get it right. And you want to get to another topic. The topic you want to be on, just so you know where the lily pad is that you're jumping to and from the one you're on and want to be off of. You want to talk about his needs, his interests, his target, the results he is seeking from you and people like you. And you want, because that's what the meeting in his mind is really all about. Kind of giving you a flick and saying, is that all you are? You know, one butterfly, 4 wings? Like I was looking for a little more. You don't want him to go down that road. You want to talk with him about your capabilities after he tells you what all his problems are and his aims and his limits and his needs, etc. You want to hear from his soul, and then you're going to tell him all the things you know how to do, and that will answer his question. And the trick here is to be absolutely truthful, because these guys remember everything. Can't tell you how good their memory is for what a person in business development mode is trying to communicate. So my general recommendation is to give a 2-part reply with very specific metrics. If you have anything more than just you should say, well, as a firm, I, Mike, we're 2, or there are 6 of us, or that, as an American Vegetable Express, there are 31 of us and we have 20 trucks, whatever the facts are, as a minimum portrait, so he can get an idea of who's across the table from him. Now, he said, of course, and then you want to answer the other part. In this meeting, I'm just one. It's just me, and my background is, and then you want to give something large and clear and extensive. I've been in transportation for 20 years. I've been in marketing for 8 years. I have freshly come from a moonlighting situation, and I'm going full-time early this month, and things are great, and I'm really delighted to be here with you. I will be happy to cover the rest of my background and our firm's background after I hear what it is that you want me to address. It's much easier for me to stay right on target. And so if we can cover this a little bit later, and then make sure you're going to cover it a little bit later, let's switch to the results you're trying to get and give me a thumbnail sketch of your firm, and we'll stay together that way. And you make a mental note. Remember, we've slowed the tape down. You make a mental note in that instant that you plan all this. I need one alliance at least, so that I don't have to say it's only me. It makes you feel much bigger, and in fact, that's what a corporation or a firm or an LLC does. It makes you feel bigger, so you are bigger, and you can build on that. And in fact, you don't actually want to do this all by yourself. You're going to want help, particularly if there's the more work coming that we expect from trade and investment changes here in the United States. Okay, so now you know how, in the short term, you know how to handle that very difficult question. And if you can practice it at home and know so that it just comes out naturally, you are way ahead, because that's just about the worst question you're going to get. You're small. He detected it. You're reading his skepticism because you're all alert. You're not completely sure of the path forward. Just say, been there, done that. Don't worry. The most important thing, you also know, as you're listening to him, you know you're going to need a meeting plan. You need to know what you want to do with each of your clients, prospective clients, so that you can get at the heart of the matter, get down to brass tacks, and not be surprised by questions you're not prepared for. So a good, quick bullet point list would be, first is to do the little intro of you as a visitor. Hi, I'm Mike. I've been in geologic analytics for 8 years, and we're pleased to be here. This is the first time since we were at Schlumberger that I've been in Texas, and great to be back. Then an overview by the buyer. That's the target. And you want to learn everything you possibly can, because everything you learn helps you create a solution for the guy. Whatever it is, whatever service you render, it helps you. And the more he tells you, the more comfortable he is that you know enough to write a proposal and that you're intelligent enough to hire, and the better you know him and can actually do that. You want details. You want to know what kind of results, what's he going to do with what you're going to get? How time sensitive is it? All these details. You ask every question you can realistically answer in an initial meeting. With the buyer's target out on the table, now you do what I call the seller's general solution. Here's how you'd like to handle it. We can send you 3 vehicles a day ready for shipping. And we'll do that until we have completed the loading. Your dock, what hours are your dock? But anyway, dock open. Also, tell him the benefits of your doing that work. We're particularly clean. You'll notice that our manufacturing floor is spotless, and that we have one of the cleanest plants in Michigan, and so that he is hearing results from you that he will want to associate with. I'll break for a moment and let's see. Be confident when speaking to anyone, and you know everything. If a question is asked you don't know, go home and learn it that same day before submitting the proposal. Okay, absolutely. Yes, you never want to do this in ignorance. You want to control the dialogue. You want to control the venue. You want it to never look like that's what's happening. You want it to look like a calm, pleasant, professional, and highly satisfying meeting. Okay, so back, then after the sellers, after you give your presentation of what it is that you'd like to do and why that's a good thing for him, you're going to promise him to send him your plan in the form of a simple proposal. Oh, and then you're going to make a memo to yourself. I need to get a standard proposal up. And I mean, yes, actually a standard proposal. Write one. You can always modify it. Don't take it with you. It's yours to keep. And then each time you learn something, you can make a change in your standard proposal. Get a little bit of attorney's help. It's actually very easy. It does not have to be legalese. It can be in English. I sold 500 jobs with contracts, and we submitted our contract for, I think, all but maybe 2 or 3 of those, and that was over after my protests, but that's the way some of these giant firms work. But the rest, all different shapes and sizes of companies, they don't want legalese. They want to know, my name is Mike. I'm going to give you 41 of these, and it's going to take me 3.5 weeks, and it's going to cost me the buyer $22,000 payable in 3 installments, startup, midway, and upon completion. It's a very simple thing, but you want to provide the contract, and you're going to send him your contract in as part of your proposal. And then, of course, after that, there'll be show and tell. Usually that's pretty relaxed. They're going to show you all their products. They might have a corridor full of them. They might be out in the lobby. With luck, you'll see the plant or the warehouse or the equipment room or the repair bays or the paper lines. I've been through chip factories and everything. Not when they're making chips, but right before and after. Go through. They'll show you designs and plans, and here are your alternatives. They will often bring other people into the meeting, particularly if he's comfortable with how you've handled yourself so far. So after that, you have the meeting close, shake hands, fist bump, whatever is appropriate. You want to confirm your next steps. We'll get a proposal back to you in 4 days, and I'd be looking, as you said, see if we can get started before the end of the month. We'll double check our schedule, and then the meeting is over. And so that's your target. All of that is what you want to get down smooth, because let's say in the course of the next couple of years you have 500 of these meetings. It's possible. If you have a meeting a week for 10 years, that's wonderful. You'll get a huge number of projects for that. So it's something you want to do. It's something you might as well perfect. Never fight it. Sales meetings are great if you do them right, and they're a lot of fun when you, particularly when you get the job. So we used them on projects that ranged from the 300 was the bottom, and my bride just went to lunch with that client from many years ago, and $250,000 in old dollars, the big fat ones that would get you a lot, $250,000. So you make up what you offer. You create your offerings and your packages and your services, and these meetings with strangers, turning them into clients and friends, is how you get the work into your shop. So with that, I want to say thanks so much for joining us for episode 42. It's been real. Hope you're all following the news. There's a lot of work coming back into the States, and I hope you get your share of it. So if you have further questions, you can always email me at bemyownbosspodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach me in the chat, and afterwards we're still. And so that's the end of the episode. As an epilogue, I will say we are still working on getting the live chat converted into the comments section of the posting. So we're working on that. I'm not sure what YouTube has in mind, but we'll see about this one. So anyway, thank you all. This is great. Episode 42. Appreciate your company. See you next time.